How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for Habits Unplugged. Today's video is about what does habit change involve. Now, you're going to have change anywhere in your life, right? Things change. It's just the fact of life. Things change around you. Things change in your environment. Things change in your body. You age all the time that you're getting older. The cells are multiplying and dying, and they say that every 7 years that each part of your body has been renewed, so that you're not actually the same person that you were 7 years ago. All you've got is the memories of that person. So people change around you, your environment changes, the universe changes, the world is changing all the time. So what that is, for the most part, is undirected change, right? And what I'm talking about, what this whole channel is about directed, self-directed change. So you decide what you want to change. You decide how you're going to change it, what you're going to change, when you're going to change it, where you're going to change it, and you try and direct every step of the process. A big part of this whole thing is trying to deal with what's already been programmed into you. I mean, that's basically what a habit is. It's something that has been done over and over and over again. Habits are built on repetition. Habits are built on persistence. That's the one key word that I'm going to use throughout these videos is persistence. Persist. If you persist, then you will win. If you don't persist, then the habits that you maybe don't want to have in your life will win. The changes that you don't want to have in your life will win. So a big part of this is unprogramming. It's unprogramming some of the stuff that's already there and then reprogramming it for what you want it to be there, for you, what you want to replace it. Much of what we do because we were programmed to do it from the time we were born, or from before we were born, but specifically from the time that we were born. There's so many different habits, the way we think, the way we do things, the way we look at things, what we like, what we don't like, that have, we didn't play any part in their, in taking them on board, that they were just taken on board as a part and parcel of us as life, and we think of those things as normal. So one of the things that we have to do, first of all, is to think about what we actually do and think about whether that's good for us or bad for us, whether it's logical, illogical, whether it's going to help us moving forwards or it's not going to help us moving forwards. And a lot of this stuff is on the subconscious level, so you have to first bring it up from the subconscious level, where once you get a habit into your system, habitual behavior basically takes place under your awareness. That's the beauty of the habit, and at the end of the day, it's the downfall of everybody. It's when you've got bad habits in your life, it's because it plays out. All these habits mostly play out under the surface, and we do them automatically. When you drink, for instance, it's something that happens right below the surface, and you want to drink at a certain time. You want to drink in certain circumstances with certain people, and before you know it, you're heading off down to the pub. Same goes with cigarettes. If you're a smoker, there are certain times when you smoke, certain times when you don't smoke, and some things will trigger your smoking, other things won't trigger your smoking. Most of this is on a subconscious level. So first of all, you've got to bring up your thinking to a conscious level, not do it subconsciously. You've got to think about sort of all the different aspects of the habit, the triggers, the behavior, and then the rewards, what rewards you're getting out of it before you can do anything else about it. Once you've brought it up and you understand the habit and you understand what's driving it and what's moving it forwards, it's then that you can start to take it apart. And you have to take the habit apart and you have to replace it with something else. There's no such thing as a habit vacuum, so you have to replace the old with the new, right? You have to, if you're taking an old habit out of your system, you have to replace it with a new habit, right? A new habit is going to replace it anyway. So as I say, this is about self-directed behavior. It's about you taking the initiative and deciding what habit is going to replace that with. And there's so much out there to do. There's so much to do and so little time in which to do it, so you're spoilt for choice on what you can do to replace that habit with. Another aspect of any habit change is there's going to be a level of discomfort, right? any habit change, regardless of whether it's you're trying to quit smoking or you're trying to get into a more healthier lifestyle. You know, you want to start eating better and getting out and moving your body around a lot more. You know, you've got to put up with a certain amount of discomfort in the initial phases, because habitual behavior is habitual for a reason. As I say, it's mostly subconscious, so you've got to spend a lot of time thinking about it. You know, one of the most energy consuming things that we do in our lives is to think, and habits take away from that need to think so much about things. So, you know, when you're in a habit, you don't need to think about it all the time. You know, when you want to tie your shoelaces, you know, remember when you first tied your shoelaces. I don't know if you're old enough to remember shoelaces. I mean, there's a lot of shoes nowadays that don't have laces on, they just have the Velcro strap on them. But if you're old enough to do this, or to tie a tie, or to do anything that's a little bit complicated, right, for somebody who doesn't know how to do it, you know, it takes a while for you to be able to get past that level. There's a couple of different levels of doing it. I mean, first of all, you get to this level where you just have to concentrate fully on what you're doing, right? You have to think about what you're doing. You have to look down, and, you know, anybody that's sort of trying to talk to you at that stage, you know, when you're trying to tie your shoelaces, it's, yeah, shut the fuck up, you know, I'm trying to concentrate on doing this thing, you know. So you don't need that energy level. And then you get to the stage where you can sort of do it and you can talk to other people. And then you get to the stage where, you know, you just do it automatically. You don't even think about it. You put your shoes on, tie your shoelaces, and you're off. You know, it's something that you do naturally. And that's part of the discomfort of habit change, is that you're both fighting a habit that you're trying to get rid of, right? And you're also trying to establish a new habit, right? So you're trying to establish new things in your life. So you've got this topsy-turvy thing in your life, which is topsy-turvy sort of way of looking at things, which is causing discomfort. So it's that discomfort that you have to put up with, especially in the first month, maybe 2 months, depending on the habits, depending on the habit you're trying to get rid of and the habit you're trying to establish. So, I mean, can you establish any habit? Can you change any habit? Of course you can. You know, there's no fixed thing here, you know, to think about whether, you know, you're too old to do this or you're too young to do this. I mean, I hate that saying that, you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can. I mean, the thing is that if you've been doing a habit for a long time, right, the longer you've been doing the habit, the more embedded it's going to be in you. So the more sort of you have to think about it, the more you've got to put in some work to try and bring it up into your consciousness, and you've got to put in some work to try and get rid of it. But like I say, it's all about trying to get rid of the old habit, right? And think about the old habit and think about how it's constructed. Then deconstruct it bit by bit, right? But then you're focusing most of your attention on the something new that you're trying to replace it with. And once you do that, then it's a lot easier, because it's a lot easier to focus on something positive than it is to try and to focus on something negative, right? It's a lot more fulfilling. It's a lot less taxing, you know. So anyone can change a habit. Anyone can move from a bad habit into a good habit, you know. It's just a question of persistence, perseverance, patience, and, you know, having positivity, looking at the positive side of things. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, any comments at all, leave them down below in the comment section. Come on over to the website, habitsunplugged.com, and leave a comment there, any questions there. You can also sign up for our weekly newsletter. I'm Kevin O'Hara for habitsunplugged.com. Remember, it's all about persisting until you succeed. Good luck, take care.